Oh, Nagad, Dakwadoa, Cara Cowan Watts. Hello, everyone. This is Cara Cowan Watts with Cherokee 411. We're here today with one of my favorite people, Lynn Wilson, a fellow Cherokee Nation citizen, a strong Cherokee woman. We're going to talk about business development and the organization or the nonprofit that she works with. She herself is an entrepreneur, but she also helps other entrepreneurs, other small business owners like myself. She's helped me before, so many of my friends, but let's hear from her. Lynn, tell us who you are as a Cherokee before we launch into the small business stuff.
Yeah. Well, I like to think that I am a very strong Cherokee woman. My husband would tell you that. For sure.
For sure.
I had the privilege of growing up here in Tahlequah, so, which is really kind of the heart of our tribe. And at the time, I really didn't realize how much I was surrounded by our culture, our history, and our traditions. It was just everyday life for me. And I think those everyday experiences shaped me in ways that I didn't realize until I actually moved away from the community. Um, and then I realized, I felt kind of sometimes like I was in a different world. And now I'm older, and a couple of years ago, my husband and I were able to move back home. And so now I find myself intentionally reconnecting with those roots. So since moving back, I've started learning how to do traditional Cherokee pottery, which I love. Um, and I do things like I love following, kind of the old ways. I like to go out and dig my own clay and process it by hand. Something else I've really enjoyed since moving back is foraging. So I can remember as a child, my grandparents took me foraging all the time. And I remember as a child, I didn't always enjoy that. I did, some, but I'm just like, oh, and here we are through the woods and the ticks and everything again, picking huckleberries or poke or whatever it was. But I've started doing that again, and I love that process. And my youngest son is my foraging partner, and he just absolutely loves it. So it's really helped me, connect with those roots and also to connect with the land. Um, you know, as a mother, because I did not live here in the community when my children were growing up, I really had to work hard to make it a point to expose them to the culture, to teach them that they are Cherokee, and most importantly, for them to be proud of it. So.
I love this. So, who do you, off the top of your head, do you know who you're descended from,
Oh,
Lynn, on
yes,
the
I
Dawes
do.
rolls or your
Um,
historical figures?
Sure. So, my family that came over on the Trail of Tears were John and Polly Hogg. And I think they had 7 children, from what I can gather, when they started the journey. And it appears from the historical information that my fourth great grandfather, John, probably died, as well as about 3 of the children. And then
Wow.
once they reached Indian Territory, they lived in the Flint district. And out of all those children, only 2 survived to adulthood, to have children themselves. So my family is, uh, I know that there's probably other connections there, but there's not a whole lot of people left, um, from my family connection, just because, um, of the death and everything that was experienced when they come to Oklahoma.
Lynn, I'll be shocked if you don't find some relatives because that's part of why I ask our guests, who are you? And we're going to explore my family tree for that reason, because that's been one of the funnest parts of public life in the Cherokee Nation for me is finding relatives I didn't know I had because I was simply forthcoming about, well, who's my ancestors? Who's my relatives, right?
Yes, I,
So
I would be so excited if I found, if I found
I
others.
love this.
Yeah.
Okay, and you'll have to tell us about it. So when they do pop up, okay, So let's dive into how you help small businesses. And you don't help just small businesses next door or in Tahlequah or inside the Cherokee Nation. You help small businesses all over the United States that are Indian, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
absolutely. So I've been working strictly within Native communities since 2013. Um, and so I work for an organization. The organization itself is Indian Dispute Resolution Services, but we have a small business development program called the Acorn Project. And that's where I do my work. So yes, our kind of like assistance model is we typically partner directly with tribes to provide small business development like training and technical assistance to their tribal members. And yes, we do work all over the United States. Primarily, we like to focus on California and Nevada. And that's one of the reasons why I'm excited about coming on here because I really want to connect with those at-large members living in those areas. Because even though that's where we do the majority of our work, like I said, we're working directly with the tribes that are located there. And so when I go to a community and do training, there's never Cherokee citizens in the training. So I hope anyone from Nevada and California or other places just know that this resource is out there and available to them. We don't charge for our services. Our services are absolutely free of charge because we fund our organization through a lot of federal and state grant programs.
And I'm taking notes because I knew even though we've known each other for so long, because we met first when I was on tribal council and you were at the tribe, I knew I was going to learn a lot from you today. So I apologize to you and everyone, but I'm taking notes to make sure and put this with the video so that all these nuggets they're going to have and easily access.
yeah, and
Okay.
I'll make sure and send our Facebook link too.
Okay.
Because I know that you're going to share our website, but our Facebook is a great place to see what
Wow.
training
Okay.
is coming up. And then other opportunities, like if we see a grant opportunity that's specific for the Native community, we like to post that on there as well.
Okay. Well, dive right in. Tell us what you can do for us if we're a small business
Yeah.
and we
Uh,
reach out to you.
the one thing I wish we could do is funding, but unfortunately we can't provide funding. But
Okay.
funding is just one aspect of having a successful business. And it's been my experience over the years. And I see this in you, Cara, as a small business owner. Those who are really successful are those that are consistently learning and creating a group of mentors around them that they can go to get help or to ask questions. And so that's really what I want to be to people. Through my organization, we probably do 70 something trainings a year. Most of those are virtual online. So that means that anyone from anywhere can attend those. And again, you can find, they'll either be on the website, but we always make sure that they get posted to our social media. And then the other thing that I provide is I am our primary business counselor. So, if you have a business idea and you're like, I don't even know where to get started with this, I'm here to help with that process. I help people develop business plans. And I'm here, as to bounce ideas off of. So if someone is like, oh, I want to improve my marketing, I'm not really reaching people like I want to, and then I will help them brainstorm ideas. And once in a while, there's something I like to call myself kind of a jack of all trades, master of nothing. I know a little bit about a lot of things. And sometimes there's stuff, like government contracting. Yeah, I know quite a bit about government contracting, but I'm not the expert in that area. But I know who the experts are. And so I can connect.
Yes.
So I also
Mhm.
see myself as that. I'm the connector, um, to make sure that people are, connecting to a resource that's really going to help them.
And I don't think people understand the value. of just that, like a referral to the person that can address your issue so that you don't have to run around and figure that out.
Exactly.
Okay. What questions should entrepreneurs or potential entrepreneurs be reaching out to ask you, Lynn?
I don't know that there's any specific questions. Honestly, sometimes I've had people reach out and say, um, look, I have a small business, it's not doing well. I don't know what the problem is because I don't know what I don't know. I just know that something's
Right?
not working and I need to figure that out. And so that I will help them through that process. And a lot of times, people I think are afraid to ask for help because they don't want to look stupid, especially if you're a business owner. You're like, oh, I don't want people to think that I don't know what I'm doing, that I don't know how to run my business. And, a lot of times they won't reach out and ask for any help until it's to a critical point. And a lot of times when you get to that critical point, all the help in the world's not going to help you and help your business survive. So that's why I say I think very early on, entrepreneurs need to make it a habit of networking, of uh, connecting themselves with others that can, answer questions or help them and give them advice, and to always be learning because our world is changing, especially in regards to technology.
We haven't talked about youth. You help youth with theirs, right?
Yes.
And so if you've got a child in your life, your own or somebody else's, and they think they want to do a business, you can help with that, right?
Yeah, we do have youth programming, and if a youth, someone under 18 wants direct assistance, even though they may not be a part of, or an official youth program
Right?
that we're providing, yeah, we'll gladly help them. Uh,
Oh, so you have programs they can go through, like
yeah,
boot
so
camps
we
or something?
actually, yeah,
Okay.
we have youth programs where and that again is usually where we're partnering with the tribe to go
Okay.
and do a very specific program for their young people.
So back to something you said at the very beginning, if you're partnering with a tribe like in Nevada or California, where you said, I think you have a lot of growth opportunities, when we talked before the interview, is that could those Cherokee citizens engage through that tribal program? Are those tribes opening it up to all of us, or
They're
or is it
often not,
okay?
um, because it may be part of a summer youth work program that a
Okay,
tribe has, and so we'll come in and work with those summer youth program students. Um, so yeah, so unfortunately,
but they should ask, right? There's always a chance
oh
it could
yeah,
be open.
I
Okay,
think there always is. And sometimes, we're working with a tribe doing a youth program and maybe there's, some of the kids can't participate for whatever reason. And
okay,
and maybe the tribe would be open to letting those young people in.
okay. So let's round back to something else you said. Talked about folks kind of have are cautious or fearful about coming to talk to you because they don't want to disclose stuff. But you're under an NDA, right? You have confidentiality requirements. So you
Oh,
don't,
yes, absolutely. So anytime I speak with a client, that's confidential. So the only time I would ever talk details about a client or with other team members in my group. And again, part of that goes to we have a lot of experience on our team
mhm.
and we all have expertise in different areas. And so we want to make sure that our team is, that we work together to help a client. But yes, no, so, if I know I've had it a lot over the years, someone has a business idea. It's like, well, I have this business idea and I don't want to tell you because I'm afraid someone's going to steal my idea. Um, I'm not going to say anything, but because I know so many people do feel that way, I'll also say this. If you keep your business idea a secret and you won't tell anyone to get the help that you need, um,
It
you're
often never launches.
it probably won't ever launch. And other people may find out about your business idea, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort to start a business. So even though someone else may think, oh man, that's a fantastic idea, it doesn't mean that they're going to put all the work and the effort in to take that idea and run with it. And, once you do get your business started, then your idea is out there anyway.
Yep.
And so the big important thing is just making sure that you're staying competitive, that you're able to offer your service or offer your product in a way that is better than anyone else can do.
That's right. That's right. One more thing we haven't talked about. You are an expert on Etsy, are you not?
Oh, yes, I am. So we
I
have,
mean, like, and we have all these people out there that I love buying my Cherokee stuff off Etsy as well as in person.
yeah,
So
we've
please.
been teaching Etsy entrepreneurship in Native communities since 2018. And we luckily, about it's been almost 3 years ago now, we had an opportunity to partner with Etsy and another organization, the Nest Artisans Guild, to to put together some cohorts under Etsy's Uplift Makers program. And so uh, Nest was actually kind of in charge of putting these cohorts together, and they really wanted an indigenous group represented, but they could not make connection with any indigenous artisans. And so they reached out to us and said, hey, can you help us? And we're like, oh yeah, that's primarily who we work with, our native artisans. So I was lucky enough to be able to participate in that cohort along with several other Cherokees. Um, and it was a fantastic experience. And after that cohort, my organization actually took over uh, organizing and coordinating the other cohorts. So we're getting ready to do our last official cohort under the Uplift Makers program, and I'm so excited because we're doing it here in
Oh, okay.
Oklahoma. Yeah, so we're going through the interview process right now, but we've had several great artisans, not only from our tribe, but from Oto, Missouri, Muskogee Creek. Uh, there's also someone from Seneca that has applied. So I'm pretty excited, that on this last cohort under this program that we're going to get to do it here in our area.
Now, like, as an Etsy customer, because I like to support everybody else in the arts, I can do stuff. I don't have time. That's not where my deal is. So I like to support all of you. Your stores are at a different level. Like I can tell, and you're able to put those things that you put so much effort and there's so much culture and skill in, you put it at a higher price point. So you're getting a better return for that artist and people want to pay it. It's wonderful. I mean,
Yeah,
that's business.
I think that's been one of the things I've noticed a lot about native artisans, that they're making all this beautiful stuff, whether it's jewelry, beadwork, basketry, pottery, whatever. They're making it, and most of the time they're just trying to sell it within their own community, which is great. But when you have a heavily concentrated group of people in the community doing a lot of the same things, you're not able to charge what you could charge if you're selling to someone in Australia, or on the other side of the country. So I have really found that so many of the artisans that we work with, that's why I love being able to bring them online and through the Etsy platform, because it's like, look, now you're not just trying to sell to everyone in your community, which has access to all these products or can make it themselves. Now you have access to the entire world, and you can charge a lot more and get the the value, true value of what you make out of your products.
Well, that's awesome. And as a thank you for your time today coming on, we're going to also put a link to your Etsy store with the story because I think it's important for people to see who you are, that you're this strong, intelligent businesswoman. You're out conquering the world, but here you are, you're also creating these Cherokee arts that people can wear.
Well,
And I
and I
love
would
that.
love to actually send you to the Indigenous Artisans Collective because we have several Cherokee
Oh, okay.
members there. And so, even more important than supporting my store, I would love to be able to support
Let's
um,
get that on there in
those
the
other.
story. I love it. So the written story will accompany this video. Okay, one last thing, Lynn. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you want to add to today's story for our listeners?
We've covered quite a bit. I think I I think I just want to close with just reminding people that help is out there.
Hmm.
If you're a small business owner or you want to become an entrepreneur, it's not just my organization. There's the Small Business Development Center. There's just all these great organizations that are there to help you. But our focus is, a lot of times, people don't want to work with organizations that maybe don't understand who they are as a people and understand Native culture. So that's where I think my organization really excels. And so I'm just really excited about this opportunity to hopefully connect with more of our Cherokee citizens at large, because I know our at large citizens, they're not it's so different from them. And after moving away from home, I realize, how disconnected you do become to, not only our culture and our traditions, but also assistance for other things. And so I at least want to be that person that can provide, uh, you know, small business assistance to those who are not living here within our jurisdiction.
I love it. Well, I'm always honored that you're my friend and that you blessed us with this time. So, Wado, Lynn, thank you.
Yeah, well,
Thank
okay.
you to all our listeners too for being here with us today. And until we see you again.
Join the conversation. Discover stories and insights that matter to you. Subscribe to Cherokee 411 with Cara and stay connected with independent media, real, relevant, and unfiltered.